Thank you very much. Senator Thune.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Secretary, thanks for being here. Thanks for all your work on behalf of farmers and ranchers in our country. I want to echo a couple things that Senator Boozman talked about. One is that we need technical assistance from USDA to ensure the department can implement the Farm Bill in accordance with congressional intent. And I'm currently waiting on USDA's technical assistance on my bipartisan proposals to improve local meat processing and livestock disaster assistance, and would appreciate you and your team if you could get back to us in a timely way. We're coming up on the, as you know, the September expiration of the Farm Bill. So I look forward to working with our colleagues on this committee to advance the next Farm Bill. And the other thing I want to echo that my understanding is Senator Boozman did talk about, and I think it's a real concern, and I know I think you answered it when he raised it, but you know, the changes that were made administratively in the SNAP program that to the tune of $250 billion, that's not a rounding error. I mean, we're talking about huge amounts of money. I mean, the only thing that's even close is the President's proposal to forgive student loans is upward of $1 trillion. But to think that, you know, if you look at constitutionally, the Article 1 responsibility that we have and the power of the purse, and also the implications that has for the Farm Bill. I mean, we're now talking about on a baseline, Farm Bill baseline of $1.5 trillion. I mean, this is territory we've never come close to hitting in anything contemplated in the past. And it seems to me that if there are changes that are going to be made in some of those programs, that they should be made by Congress and not by the administration. And I know that Senator Boozman has raised that point already, but this to me is a serious problem, particularly on the scale we're talking about. I mean, if it was one thing, if you were making some changes that were, you know, at least in relative terms, somewhat less consequential, but that is a huge amount of money, and it has huge implications for the Farm Bill that we're in the process of writing. Let me ask you, if I could, to elaborate or clarify a statement you made earlier, I think in response to a question asked by Senator Tuberville, that the Reconnect program does not address unserved areas. Could you clarify that?
The Reconnect program, as we're currently administering it, is focused on existing, and I think Congress has directed this, on existing broadband systems, but which have very little capacity in terms of upload and download speeds. So the Reconnect program is basically providing the resources to improve those systems, to get to the point where the download and upload speeds are usable, and going from you know, ultimately, we'd like to see 100-100, so that people in a family could have more than one person using the internet at the same time, or a business or a school would have access to distance learning.
Well, and I don't disagree with the fact that it'd be great. We want to get faster upload and download speeds, but first and foremost, I think the purpose of the law, including the most recent funding that Congress provided in the Reconnect program, is for 90% unserved. In other words, those areas that don't have service. And so, to me, if you're overbuilding, this is a real concern with these resources, because there's a lot of money in the pipeline right now to go toward broadband. And I have chaired another committee in the Congress, the Commerce Committee, which has jurisdiction over a lot of these issues, but we work closely with USDA because you also have programs that deliver some of those services to rural areas. But one of the things that I've been really focused on is the oversight role that we have to make sure that those dollars are getting on the target. And the target is unserved areas, and that's in the law. So, I mean, it seems to me if you're duplicating places that already have service, even if the download and upload speeds aren't, you know, perhaps what we would like to see, that first and foremost, I believe, is what the law is designed to do.
You've allocated $63 billion to the FCC and the Commerce Department to deal with the unserved areas.
Yeah, but the statute also says in Reconnect, unserved.
Well, but what you don't want is a circumstance where we're making decisions about an area and then a map is created and the map instantaneously becomes outdated. You got to have, in order to actually get this done, in order to actually get service to all of the unserved areas, you have to define the unserved areas. Where are they? And then once you've defined them, then you direct the resources to the states with the understanding that it's their job to implement this as quickly as possible. That's what the $63 billion is going to go towards. In the meantime, you've got, then what they will create are up-to-date service. Then you're going to have communities that say, wait a minute, these folks just got 100, or they got 2,500, whatever, they got better service than we have. Mm-hmm. So we're in the process of trying to make sure that everyone is sort of getting the same level of service at the same time, in essence, at the same time.
And all I'm saying is federal resources shouldn't duplicate places that already have. And that's plain in the law, and that applies to Reconnect just like it does to some of the broadband services that come through the FCC and NTIA and other agencies. Very quickly, because I'm running out of time, this issue with trade, as I talk to South Dakota farmers and ranchers, and I'm sure you hear from folks back in Iowa too, concerns about the administration's policies on trade and whether or not we're losing out while global competitors are acquiring new markets for their products. Now, there are lots of what I think are kind of low-hanging fruit. U.S., UK, Kenya would be a good opportunity. And the Indo-Pacific, obviously, there's a framework, but there's nothing about market access in it. So what do you tell farmers and ranchers? And is the administration considering market access opportunities anywhere, whether it's UK, Kenya, or elsewhere?
We are, but there's several ways in which you can define market access. You don't have market access if you have sanitary and phytosanitary rules that essentially preclude market access. All right, so one of the things we're doing with the Indo-Pacific framework is focusing on trade and focusing on those countries where there are SPS issues that make it more difficult for us to be able to do trade. So if you knock those SPS issues down, you actually have expanded market access, and that's an incredibly important market.
Well, I would say, and again, I go back to your previous tenure in the Obama administration. I was for TPP. I think being engaged in Asia and these markets around the world is really, really important. But all these other ancillary issues that IPEF contemplates don't do anything with the fundamental issue of market access. So my time's expired, but thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.